Have you ever noticed how some ideas or situations show up right when you need them most? Maybe you weren't even looking for answers, but suddenly something shows up, a solution, a new understanding, or a direction to go. And it feels like it was sitting there waiting for you the whole time. Life works in this strange way. Things dawn to come too soon, and they dawn to come too late. Everything, including right now, happens at exactly the right time. What we call luck or chance is really life. It's a way of showing us that we reconnected to something bigger, a design so huge that our minds can't control it. We can only wake up to it. Remember those times when something appeared at just the perfect moment? Maybe it was something a stranger said, or a sudden realization hit you, or a door opened that you didn't expect. You probably thought, wow, that is amazing. What are the odds? But what if it wasn't just luck? What if it was simply how things naturally work out? People in Eastern countries call this the Tao, how things flow when we stop trying to force them. In India, they call it Lila, which means divine play or synchronicity. No matter what you call it, the experience is always the same. What you need shows up when you ready for it. Being ready is everything. The truth is always around us, like sunlight streaming down everywhere. But until you reopen to receiving it, you just don't notice it. A kid might hear something really wise and think it's silly. But those same words, years later, might hit them like a bolt of lightning and change everything. So it's not that life suddenly starts making sense. It's that you grow into being able to understand it. What you think is coincidence is really just things lining up perfectly. It's when your openness meets what life is offering, and a door opens without you having to push it. But here is how this timing really works. You can grab at it. You can demand that wisdom show up right now. That it's like trying to make a flower bloom by pulling on its petals. You just ruin it. The flower blooms when everything is right, when the sun and soil are perfect. The same way, understanding comes when you ready. Not 1 second earlier, not 1 second later. That is why the biggest breakthroughs happen when you least expect them, right in the middle of a regular day. You weren't searching for anything, but suddenly there it was, like the universe whispered it directly to you. And maybe that is why you're reading this right now. Some part of you has been restless, wanting answers, wanting a reminder. So life put these words in front of you, not because they have some magical power, but because you finally calm enough, ready enough to hear what you already know deep down. Waking up is never about learning brand new information. It's about remembering that you are not broken, you are not behind schedule. The simple fact that you breathing right now means you exactly where you supposed to be. Life never brings anything at the wrong time. Have you noticed how the biggest changes in your life seem to happen by accident? You met someone randomly, and they changed everything. You got thrown into a situation that made you grow. You overheard something that stuck with you for years. None of it was planned, but all of it was necessary. Your mind fights against this. It wants control. It wants to know what is coming. But life isn't the machine you can program. It's more like a dance. And when you dancing, you can predict the next move. You just follow the beat as it happens. But what if I miss my chance? You might ask. The thing is, you can really miss what is meant for you. The ocean tide doesn't rise just once. It comes back over and over again. If you dawn to notice today, life will try again tomorrow and the day after that until you ready to listen. That is how generous life is. It doesn't give up on you for not paying attention. It waits patiently, like a good friend standing at your door. And when you finally answer, you realize the help was always there. You were just too busy to see it. So right now, here it is. Dawn to think of these moments as interruptions to your plans. They actually revelations. You might think you being thrown off track, when really you being guided back to where you need to be. How many times have you looked back and said, if that hadn't happened, I never would have ended up here? What felt like a mistake was actually a turn in the right direction. What felt like losing something was actually a doorway opening. Life, in all its mystery, knows how to put in front of you exactly what you need, not always what you want. Because what you want is usually surface level stuff, but what you need goes much deeper. And life always delivers what is needed. The answer you looking for will often come in the simplest way. You expecting something dramatic and obvious, but instead it's a quiet comment, an ordinary moment, or a passing thought. That is why so many people miss it. They waiting for fireworks when the truth shows up as a gentle whisper. But that whisper is more powerful than any shouting, because it doesn't force itself on you. Instead, it connects with something inside you. It wakes up something that was already there, waiting. And you feel it, not like new information being added to your brain, but like recognizing something familiar. Like life is saying, yes, you knew this all along. One of these moments right now, you unsure about your direction, confused by all the noise around you. And then these words found you. They not here to fix you. They here to remind you, you are not broken. You are growing and changing. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time. Life doesn't judge you by clocks and calendars. Life doesn't judge anything at all. It just flows, and you flow along with it. When you stop trying to force things, when you stop rushing around, you discover that the current has been carrying you all along. You were never outside of the flow. So much of our pain comes from thinking we behind, that we need to hurry up and catch up. But catch up to what? To who? There is no finish line. There is no cosmic schedule written anywhere. You are the rhythm of life itself, and life cannot be late. The season's done to apologize for when they arrive. The ocean doesn't feel bad about when it goes in and out. So why do you think that you, alone in the entire universe, should be out of sync? You are not. You are walking through life exactly the way you were supposed to. Once you understand this, something shifts. You stop fighting so hard. You quit insisting that answers show up when you want them to. And then, almost like magic, the answers start appearing. Not because they weren't there before, but because you finally opened your eyes to see them. Have you ever noticed what happens when you stop trying so hard to remember someone's name? It just pops back into your head. When you stop forcing yourself to come up with a creative idea, it just floats up naturally. This works the same way. What you need shows up when you calm enough to let it happen. Life isn't holding back on you. It is just waiting for you to be open to receiving. But your mind fights this. It says, no way. I need to plan everything out. I need to know for sure what is going to happen. But being absolutely certain is exactly what stops you from discovering new things. When you only live by what you certain about, you reliving in the past, just repeating stuff you already know. But life isn't about repeating the same old things. It's about creating something new. It is always fresh, always full of surprises. That is why truly wise people learn to be okay with not knowing everything. They learn to walk without having a map, knowing that the road will show up as they keep moving forward. Just like a song comes together one note at a time, your life unfolds one step at a time. You don't need to know the whole tune ahead of time. Maybe that is what you're figuring out right now. Trust that what you need will come to you. Trust that you've been forgotten. Trust that the universe isn't cold and distant, but actually very personal and close. It is constantly whispering to you, even though you might not always be listening. And when you finally do hear it, you call it coincidence or synchronicity or fate. But it's really just the endless dance that has always been going on. You were never separate from it. You just thought you were. When you stopped trying to control everything, you realize you were being carried along the whole time, like a leaf floating down a river, going exactly where it needs to go. If you feeling tired, don't to worry. Life hasn't given up on you. If you feeling unsure about things, just take a deep breath. The next step will show itself. You don't have to demand it or force it. You just need to be here right now. Because being present is like good soil where the seed of wisdom can start growing. And right now, that seed is already beginning to stir inside you. These words aren't giving you something brand new. They like water for something that was already planted there. And pretty soon, when the timing is right, it is going to bloom. You'll recognize it not as something added to you, but as something you remember. Something that was always yours to begin with. Here, it's something interesting. Even your struggles fit into this natural rhythm. The heartbreaks, the times you failed, the disappointments, they all help you grow. They make you softer. They get the ground ready. Without those hard times, you wouldn't be ready for the insight when it arrives. A rock has to crack before light can get in. Soil has to be broken up before a seed can take root. So even your pain has a purpose, even if you can see it while it is happening. Later on, you look back and think, oh, I get it now. If that hadn't happened, I never would have woken up to this. Nothing gets wasted. Everything gets woven into the bigger picture. When you feeling hopeless and asking, why is this happening now? Remember, because right now is the only time anything can happen. The lesson doesn't come in the past or the future. It shows up in the present moment. Always right here, always right now. And if you open yourself up, you see that what you need has already been given to you. Sometimes it's crystal clear. Sometimes it's a mystery. But it is always here in this moment. Even being confused is a kind of guidance, because it tells you to stop pretending you have it all figured out. The biggest mistake is thinking you have to wait for some special moment, some perfect situation, before you can wake up to what is really happening. That is just another way of putting things off, another trick your mind plays on you. The perfect condition is right now, because right now is the only condition that actually exists. Once you really get this, you stop frantically searching for the message. You start to see that the message is always here, showing up in a million different ways, just waiting for you to pay attention. A bird singing, a moment of quiet, a face you pass on the street, any of these can speak to you if you reawake enough to notice. The universe is never quiet. You just sometimes distracted. Everything happens for a reason. Even your detours here is something amazing to think about, even when you get distracted or sidetracked. That it's all part of the bigger picture too. Sure, when you snap out of it and realize you've been wandering around in circles, you might think, man, I wasted so much time. And in that moment of seeing clearly, you decide to live your life differently. But guess what? That detour was supposed to be part of your trip. That wrong turn was actually part of the road you needed to travel. Nothing got lost. Nothing was wasted. Everything fits together. This is why you can actually mess up your life. You can step outside of it. You can only think that you have. And then one day, like today, something brings you back. Maybe it is something someone says, or a quiet moment, or a gentle push in the right direction, and you wake up again. Maybe that is what this moment is for you. A nudge. A reminder that you don't need to freak out. You don't need to hurry up and catch up to something. Everything, even being confused, even wanting things you don't have, is all part of how things are supposed to unfold. And what you really need most is either on its way to you, or it's already here. Your mind asks, but how will I know when it's the right thing? The answer is pretty straightforward. You'll feel it. Just like, when you hungry or tired, or when you fall in love with someone, you'll know when a message is meant for you. It won't feel forced or pushed on you. It will just click. It will feel right. And when something clicks like that, don't second guess it. Don't brush it off as just some random coincidence. Trust it. Life has just spoken to you, not with some big dramatic announcement, but with a quiet voice. And that quiet voice is always enough, because whispers can get into your heart in ways that loud shouting never can. They slip past all your walls, your pride, and all the arguments going on in your head. Then suddenly, without any warning, you see everything clearly. You realize you were never alone. Life has been showing you the way the whole time. And even right now, in this exact moment, you being taken care of. When you really feel this, you get flooded with thankfulness, not for the things you wanted, but for what you actually needed. And what you needed wasn't to know everything for sure, but to learn how to trust. Not to control everything, but to let go. Not to have all the answers, but to have the guts to live with the questions. Because life isn't like a jigsaw puzzle that you have to figure out. It's more like a mystery that you get to experience. And the mystery only opens up when you stop trying to grab onto it so tight. Think about sand slipping through your fingers. You can hold onto it by squeezing harder. But if you just open your hand, it sits there just fine. Wisdom works the same way. You don't find it by forcing it. You find it by letting go. And when you do let go, you discover it's been sitting right there the whole time, just waiting patiently. waiting for you to relax into life. This timing. To see that nothing is actually missing from your life. To trust that what you need is either already on its way or it is already here, just dressed up as something ordinary. Because the most incredible things always hide inside the everyday stuff. The holy hides inside the simple. And when you wake up to this truth, you realize you don't need to chase after anything. You just need to pay attention. Pay attention to the rhythm, the timing, what is happening right here in each moment. And when you really start noticing, life shows itself to be perfectly complete, perfectly whole, exactly as it is right now. So when you wonder why this moment feels so perfectly timed, understand it. It's not some accident. Life brought you here, not because you re-lost, but because you have been found. Not because something is wrong with you, but because you already complete. This reminder ISN to showing up to fix you. It's here to wake you up. To wake you up from the dream that you separated from everything else. From the dream that you have to control it all. From the dream that you have to earn your spot in this world. You were already here. You always have been. And life, this rhythm is always moving you forward, one step at a time, taking you exactly where you need to be. So let these words be what they were supposed to be, a reminder, like someone putting a gentle hand on your shoulder and saying, you were not late. You were not behind. You haven't been forgotten. Everything shows up when it is supposed to. Even this moment, even this thought, even this understanding. Life is never early, never late. It is always right on time. And so are you. If this message found you today, it is no accident. What do you think you needed to hear? Let us know below if you found this video useful. Please like it and subscribe to the channel. There are more videos on this channel that will help you become a better version of yourself.